How's it going, everybody? Casual PS3 here. And let's just say you picked up a couple of games for your console, but they came with these empty cases. Well, today I'm going to show you how to print out some cover art so that you can make these look a billion times better. So we got a couple of titles here that I guess they're not really talked about, maybe because they're bad or not, but I thought they were cool just by looking at them, so I picked them up. And then the next three are some really awesome titles like Spider-Man Web of Shadows, 50 Cent Blood on the Sand, and Silent Hill Downpour. And I'm sure anyone with these three games would want to have the cover art for them. But let's just look at the prices for some of these games. Well, maybe some of them aren't super expensive, or maybe they are. I'm not going to know what it is by this pre-recording. But I'm sure especially for these three games here, it's going to be pretty expensive to get the manuals and cover art for these. And if you're a person like me who simply wants the game and the case doesn't really matter, printing cover art is probably your best bet. Okay, so step one is finding your cover art. So you can go on Google, search up the game and the system you're looking for, and see if it comes up on Google Images on some kind of website. But the best one I could find that a lot of people talk about is called the Cover Art Project. This website has a whole bunch of systems. As you can see on the left here, there's a whole bunch that you can choose from. There's even like PlayStation 5 now, which is pretty crazy. But you can search up whichever game, so like maybe I'm looking for Tales of Xillia 2. Ads will come up, but you'll see different types of art. And yeah, you can pick whichever one you want, and you can download and print it. One thing to note is when you're printing these out, especially if you're trying to give it off to someone else, you want to include a reproduction label somewhere on the picture itself. You don't want to say that it's the original art because it's not. You printed it, so it is 100% a reproduction. So always make sure to include this if you're trying to do that kind of thing. Now we're on to the next step, and we are going to set up the page so you can print your cover. What we have here is the set template that you can then replace the image with whatever cover you had, and you can save it as PDF and print. But let's see how I even got here. Step one, go to File, Page Setup, and then you want these settings. So you want it to be in landscape, and then your margins. They differ based on what printer you have. So some people's printers, they require you to have this border. I think this is what most have. So like this is the cutoff range. So if you put it any smaller than this, you will lose some of the picture you want. So here you have no cutoff, nothing gets removed, and it's safe. Left and right doesn't matter, just make sure those are 0 just so we can optimize the space, and then press OK. After that, you want to do a few things. So how I got this was I literally just used the snippet tool feature on Windows, took a snippet of the white document, copy pasted it here, and well, made myself a little template. And all you got to do here just to make sure you have a border is just press the border here and then center it. And what you can do is this is like your test page. So like I said, different printers print differently. Maybe you need like smaller sizes. You can test it with this so you don't waste a bunch of ink on a full cover art and realize, oh crap, half of it's cut off. Yeah, so once you have this, image options, there's 3 things that you want to do here. So this is automatically ticked. You want to untick this so it does not lock the aspect ratio. Then you want your width and height to be 10.58 and 5.85 respectively. You will notice that the scales will change when you do this, and all you got to do is press somewhere outside, then click the picture again, and it should reset to 100, 100. But what you can do now is you can actually go to File and download this as a PDF, and we can print it. I'll show you what the print settings are in just a few seconds, but I want to make a small note here. When you're replacing this with a actual cover art page, you want to go to like replace image and then take it wherever it is, like downloads or whatever, and you then want, once it loads up, to press reset image and then put these numbers in, just because when you put it in here it sometimes scales it weirdly, not the scaling that you downloaded at, so you want to reset it so it fixes everything. But yeah, as I was saying, once you do all that stuff, you can file, download, and save it as a PDF, and we'll move on to how to print it. So I went ahead and opened up the PDF and went to print. So, you know, you can select your printer, make sure it's landscape, all that. But here's a very, very important part. So over here, right now it's at fit to printable area, and you'll notice that the borders are pretty big, not what we want. So you want to make it actual size, and you can see the difference here, how it does. So even if you mistakenly print this out, you will get the same cover, it'll be fine, but it'll be much smaller than what you would want, and maybe a little bit too small for your liking. So always make sure you take actual size and then print, so you get the actual sizing that we wanted from the Word document. Alright, changed up views here, and after printing that little page we made, this is what it should look like. So you're going to have some thin borders, but as you can see, the full like square with the borders did not get cut off in any way. It is the right size. If you use the selection fit to printable area, you're going to get something like this, which may look fine because it is, but it'll be a lot smaller than how you want it. And what I'll do is I can show a genuine cover art here. This is Rage. So if you put this down, you'll notice that, first of all, so that's the line at the top. Look at the width difference here. That's a pretty big difference. And then if we're looking at length, so line up one line here, as you can see, there's a good chunk missing there too. So it will still work, like it will be a much smaller cover, but that size would work too. But with the one that we made here, this is probably your best bet for the most like size and everything. So as you can see, let's put it in the corner. Like, you're barely missing anything. It's a little bit, but it's not super major. And then width is, well, exactly what the PlayStation one is. You can see the borders match up perfectly. It fits inside of there. Now the question is, how do you cut this out? So you could use scissors if you have a steady hand and cut through it, and that's probably your easiest route. But I don't really cut straight with them. Like, if I use scissors, it's going to be all bent and choppy. So I just went the safe route, and I got like this little piece of cardboard here. It's actually a broken binder, and you can see it's been used a lot with all the cover art I've been printing out here. There's a lot of scrapes. You put your paper on there, then you should get like some kind of razor blade or something. I have this X-Acto knife that I got from the dollar store, and this works really great. And the way I use to guide my hand is I use a ruler, so I'll line this up with the edge, you know, nice and straight, then I just cut alongside. Yeah, you just want to do that, and we will see the results after I start cutting it up. Actually, I'm not going to cut this up just because there's no need for me to do it. I already have a bunch of cover art that I have, so I'll just talk about one of the ones that I need for the video. So right here, this is the one I printed for Mayhem. As you can see, it came out really good. The print quality looks great. It's not super blurry, and I think it's one of the better ones that I could get. Nice and legible and everything. And I can now talk about the main point. So if you are like me, who's just going to use this for personal use, it's just going to sit on my shelf, and every time I look at the art I can, you don't really need this, but any other person, especially someone who's like a reseller trying to sell their games and you just want to make it look nice like this, you must include a sticker on the like cover art itself that says this is a reproduction label. You don't want to sell this off as the original thing, because it's not. You don't want to scam people and all that. And plus that's fraud, saying that it is the original art when it's, of course, a printout. For me, I'm not selling any of these games. This is mine in my collection. So just because I want them to look nice, I didn't include that label on there. But yeah, always make sure you have that on these, because it's just a safety precaution, and you should always do that. And of course, you should also tell people if you are selling that this is a printed case. I actually meant printed cover art. But anyways, let's show you how to do this. So here's the game case. There's Mayhem. And when you have the flat piece, of course, this won't be bent as it is, but you're going to insert, let's say I cut this out, right? You're going to slide it into the little sleeve here for it in the case. And you want to line up your spine with the spine of the case. So make sure it's right on there, and that when you fold it, it should go where it needs to be. Make sure everything, it's not like bent at an angle, it's straight, it's in the right position, and you're just gonna fold it. So once you feel like it's in the right position, just close the case. And the most important step is just double check that your spine and everything looks proper, and you're gonna press down and make a crease so that it's nice and folded, so it doesn't look like it's inflating here or bending. It's just, you want it to have a nice straight edge. And just like that, there you go, you got cover art. So that makes it look so much better on a shelf. So I keep them like this on my shelf. Some games are like this, but those are only ones I kind of want to see it. But as long as the spine looks good, that's what I care about. But since I'm doing that anyways, might as well get the full cover art. So depending on how many games you need the art for, just continue the process. So here's the one for Mayhem. We already saw it, looks really great. Here's the one for Mindjack, also looks pretty good. It's a little more lesser quality. Well, different pictures have different quality scales, so, but for my purposes, that looks really awesome to me. Now here's some of the bigger stuff. So you got Silent Hill Downpour, looks really good actually. Back looks a little bad. It's a little bit blurry, but you know what? The front looks good and the side looks awesome. Next up, and I don't want to sneak peek that, Spider-Man Web of Shadows looks super nice. That spine looks awesome. I really like it. Back looks really cool too. And finally, Big Mr. 50 Cent, Blood on the Sand. I think this one came out super good. Like, that looks really nice, good quality. The spine isn't that great, but that's okay. Back looks really good too, but yeah, that's what it looks like. So hopefully you can find, or you found this video helpful, you know, printing out your cover art to make your collection just look slightly better, because I think that right there looks a lot better than some plain old cases just sitting on the side. Printing out covers is really great, but like I said, especially for things like I could say these games are probably stuff that people look for, loose or whatever, and see how great these quality prints are. They're super nice, especially the 50 Cent Blood on the Sand. It looks really great. But you always have to include a sticker here that says this is a reproduction copy, this is reproduction, this is reproduction. You don't want to sell it as the real thing. So always make sure. You don't want to commit fraud, you don't want to hurt someone's feelings. It's not nice, people. But yeah, if you're just like me, you just want the games to look nice on a shelf and complement the game for what they are, this is probably the best route, because look at this. You can have a nice looking case for them. So even if a friend comes out, you can go like, hey, look, I have this game. And they go like, whoa, that's really cool. But remember, it's a reproduction cover. It's not the real thing. Well, that was a pretty long video, I think. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll try and answer them in the comment section below. But yeah, this is printing cover art with me. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Let's zoom in on Spider-Man, because he looks kind of scary in this.